So yeah, my name is Maria and I am the product manager for the DMP tool. So if you're not familiar, we are a free platform for the creation of DMPs. So we have templates for all of the main federal funders. We also have a lot of private foundations as well. We've been around for around 10 years. Most major universities are partners with us, have accounts in the DMP tool, and a lot of data librarians use us as a tool to educate folks about how to make a good DMP. So we've got a lot of good guidance in the tool as well. So I just want to talk a little bit about how to actually create the DMP in the DMP tool so that you can submit it to FASEB and win $500. So the first thing you'll need to do is to create an account on dmptool.org. It's totally free. If you're affiliated with the university and they have an account with single sign-on, you can do that route, or you can just create an account with Gmail and just put in your affiliation. So either way it works, either way it is a free service. So once you have an account, and this is an important first step, after you have that account, you can click on the bit.ly that we have there, and that will take you straight into the FASEB DataWorks template. And the way we created that template, it's basically the NIH data management and sharing plan questions. We added some specific information for this data challenge. We added some information about the rubric so you would know how the different areas are being evaluated and reviewed. But it is based on the NIH requirements. So I'll walk you through what it looks like, but when you're done, you'll need to make sure your DMP is publicly available. So we want to be able to share it with the community, and I'll show you how to do that. And you want to register your plan to receive a DMP ID. And this is a unique identifier for your data management plan. Technically, it's a DOI, and I'll show you where that is and what it looks like. If you could go to the next slide. So once you're in the DMP tool, you've created your account, you clicked on the link, the first thing you're going to get is the project details page. This is just giving very basic information about your project, title, abstract, domain, the funder, which is going to be NIH. If you have an funding opportunity number or a grant number, you can pop it in there. If you go to the next screen. The collaborators tab is, it's a tab system. So I'm just going to go through the tabs in order. The next is contributors, kind of speaks for itself. Anybody else affiliated with the project, you can put it in there. I do encourage you to use ORCIDs when you have them. This next tab is where you're going to write your plan. So this is where the bulk of your work will be. This is the actual narrative part of the plan. You can see for each section, Nina had just reviewed all the 6 sections. They're the same in this. So this first one is about data type. So the top, we've put in the review rubric so you can see specifically how this question is going to be evaluated. Down at the bottom, that's where you're going to pop your text in. And then I did want to point out on the right, there's a little box here where we have some guidance. Most of that comes straight from NIH about how they're defining certain things, like how do they define data, like Nina just reviewed. What does access mean? So if there's any kind of NIH guidance related to this question, we've popped it into that box there on the right. If you go to the next tab. So research outputs is the next tab. This is where for your primary research outputs, you can have, you basically are giving high-level metadata that defines that output. So a title of it, what type is it? Is it an image file? Is it a data set, software? Then just if you have an intended repository, this is important. NIH is very concerned with making sure that appropriate data is made publicly available. So you definitely want to define what repository it's going to be deposited at. Any metadata standards and intended licenses. And this is repeatable, so you can have as many research outputs as you need for your project. You go to the next slide, please. This is the final tab in that workflow. This is where you're going to set your plan visibility. So you just want to make sure you've set the toggle to public. so that we can share it out. You also want to register your plan. So registering your plan is going to give you a DMP ID. It's also going to link that unique identifier to your ORCID record. So there's a workflow that you'll go through where you're adding your ORCID ID so that we can make that loop and improve transparency, give you credit for a great DMP, and add it to your ORCID record.